of the National Taxpayers Union, Pete Sepp. Pete, what do you make of this rescissions bill? I know a lot of people were disappointed that the big, beautiful bill didn't codify some of DOGE's cuts. What do you think of this $9.4 billion package, and will there be more? Because we know there's more waste, fraud, and abuse to cut.
Yes, let's just hope it's the start of something bigger. The fact is that the legislative process did not permit these changes to be put onto the one big beautiful bill. And it's great to hear from Speaker Johnson on the House side that they want to act quickly on this package. Of course, they have to, because there is a 45-day shot clock. Once that package is introduced and once it's transmitted to Congress, there are 45 days for the House and Senate to act to pass those rescissions. And what we're talking about here are rescissions in a very small corner of the federal government. Foreign aid, despite a lot of popular perceptions, is not a huge amount of money in the overall appropriations scheme. Neither is the funding for the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, which is supposedly the target of the rescissions. We have plenty more to go. These cuts are badly needed, but there are many other departments, including defense, that I would love to see the DOGE findings codified.
Yeah, now, we know that there was a big splash from Elon Musk. They're going to find $2 trillion waste fraud. Then there was a trillion. And I don't know how you feel, Pete. To me, whatever he found, great. Let's put it in there. Having said that, if they come out with a budget and it's not less as far as the deficit is concerned, versus this year or the year before that, I think a lot of people are going to be very disappointed in Republicans who are in charge. Even if they have to pick a number and say, we're going to go back to pre-COVID levels and add in something for inflation, but you got to find somewhere to chop 5% or whatever it is. Am I wrong about that, Pete? I mean, for taxpayers, they want to see progress.
Yeah, absolutely right. And even returning the federal budget to the 2019 funding level would be a good idea. It's gone up more than 35% since then. Much of the COVID-era spending, predictably, as we had warned about, has been locked in and regarded as sacrosanct. We can't do that because the federal deficit, the national debt now exceeding $35 trillion, and with the Secretary Bessent's goal of reducing the deficit to 3% of our gross domestic product annually, we're at more than twice that right now. And the one big beautiful bill makes progress toward that, but we've got a much further way to go. We have to at least double the amount of spending restraint that's in there.
Pete, what do you think the passage hopes are of the one big beautiful bill? I know it's now in the Senate. Senator Ron Johnson doesn't like the spending in it. Rand Paul has also been critical of the bill. You can only really lose 3 senators and have J.D. Vance come up and do the tie-breaking vote. So what do you think the prospects are, as well as what do you anticipate the Senate changing on the House version?
Well, I've heard other senators, Rick Scott and Tom Tillis included, who are saying we need to do something on spending reductions. Now, whether they are firm no votes, unless a specific target is met, no one is sure, but there definitely is a lot of momentum in the Senate to do something better on paring back the spending. I think they should, even if they can't do it all in the one big beautiful bill. The White House can help by sending more rescissions packages to Congress, keeping that momentum going. And again, Defense Department would be a great place to start, an entity that hasn't been able to pass an audit, unlike any other federal agency, and has failed 7 times in a row. I'm sure DOGE uncovered a lot in that mess that can be cleaned up.
Well, we saw in the 90s Congress that was determined to actually make cuts, and they eventually, working with the Republican Congress with the Democratic president, although who knows if he would qualify as a Democrat these days, ended up balancing the budget.
Yes.
I don't think they can accomplish that without tackling some of these serious programs like Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. And just to throw it out there, I don't know if Joe Biden gets Social Security checks, but he probably doesn't need them. Neither does President Trump. So, I mean, if they go through a process and actually look at ways to save money, don't you think they should attack those kinds of things?
Yeah, they absolutely should. And we can do it in a way that isn't going to break the president's basic promise not to ravage Social Security or Medicare. You can make gradual reforms, but the point is to do them right now so they have time to take effect and begin generating savings to stave off the bankruptcy of those programs. I mean, one way, just change the formula of how cost of living adjustments are issued in Social Security. In tax brackets, we use a measurement called chained CPI. We use a more generous one for Social Security. Why not be fair and use chained CPI for Social Security, too? Nobody would miss the money. We're talking about future adjustments. That would be very helpful.
Okay. Well, they should listen to some of these suggestions from folks like yourself. And Pete Sepp, we appreciate you being with us.
My pleasure.